Good morning, well, afternoon, happy Saturday. How are you? I had a pretty lazy morning. I slept in a little bit, I had a coffee and watched some YouTube, and now I'm on my way out to the farm to see my girls, which is all I have to do today besides work, editing videos, working on my website. I'm really excited because Violet's new bridle came in the mail this week. I bought her a Micklem, decided to splurge a little bit because both of Hope's bridles are cob sized. So Violet hasn't really started wearing a bridle yet because mine don't fit her. And I thought I really want her first couple of experiences to be good ones. And I wanted an excuse to buy Micklem. I've been dying to try them since they came out, and I've read a lot of the research, and it looks really good. So that's where we're at. I gotta get gas on the way to the farm, and I will see you there. So this was Violet's first time wearing this bridle, so I have to size it for her. It's also only the second time she's properly worn a bridle, so this did take a lot longer than it would with an older horse because she just hasn't done this before. I also haven't put a Micklem together before, so I needed to figure that out as well. So here I'm just figuring out where I want the noseband to go on her. Um, Also just trying to practice good behavior on the cross ties and keeping her attention on me. Some of her buddies are outside that back door, so they were distracting her a little bit, and that's okay. I'm never going to correct her for being distracted. I'm just going to keep praising her for doing the right thing. I don't ever want her to feel like um, she's going to get in trouble for doing the wrong thing. That's just not how I like to train. So once I've got the bridle sized for her, I'm going to put her halter back on and put the bit on. I had the bit in my pocket to help keep it warm because, again, I don't want this to be a bad experience. And the bridle comes with two different lengths of bit hanger pieces. So here I had to Google which one I should use for her, and I ended up going with the longer ones. And here she's being perfectly patient while I look things up, but this is all new for her, so I do give her a lot of credit for being as good as she is. She's down in this barn alone with half of the herd since we've just split them up into their winter fields outside that door. So she's really interested in what's going on, and that's okay. For a bit, I've got a nice loose ring French link with a big thick lozenge in the middle. I do like that to start them out with. And here I am just attaching the bit to the bridle. Now that I've got this all figured out, if you guys want to see how the Micklem bridle is put together and how everything attaches, leave a comment down below and I will happily put that together for you. The bridle was a little bit stiff because, like I said, it's brand new and I wanted to make sure it was going to be a good fit for her before I did any cleaning or oiling. So I have brought that home to oil it now. Here, again, because she's only had a bit in her mouth twice, I'm just getting her interested in it. I put cookies on my hand. I'm letting her eat the cookies from around the bit so that she doesn't start to develop any sort of avoidance behavior. And here I just put a tiny little bit of molasses in a little cup, an old supplement scoop, because again, I want her to put this in her mouth and be focused on a nice flavor and not the fact that she can't spit it out. And now she's wearing it. And then a little bit more adjusting to do because I needed to get the drum noseband in the right place, make sure that the piece that goes under her cheek there is at the right spot, and that the bit is the right height in her mouth. And again, lots of praise, lots of pats. She's being very good. This is her first time ever wearing a bridle properly. The time before this that I have had it on her, it was just a Western no ear headstall, no noseband. So it was literally just a bit and a strap that goes over the top of her head, and she wore that with her halter. So today, this is going to be the first time I've ever asked her to do anything like steer. So here I am just getting the reins ready to put on. And you can see I haven't done up the drop nose band piece yet. I want her to get comfortable just holding that bit first before, and get all of the sort of chewing and opening her mouth out of her system before I put that nose band on, because she won't be able to open her mouth as wide. I'm not going to do it up very tight at all today. I don't tend to do my nose bands up very tight in general, but you know, I just want her to get used to the feeling of something in her mouth that she can't spit out, and the fact that it's not a bad thing. This rein was being much stiffer than the other one for some reason. But as you can see, she's being a really good girl for this. She's only 2.5 if you haven't seen my other videos. And really, she's not even 2.5, I think, for another couple of weeks. So I'm really happy with the progress she's made so far. I decided that the bit needed to be one hole shorter on those bit hanger pieces. And then I can pull the halter off. And that lead rope always gets velcroed to the velcro on my coat for some reason. And then here I'm just going to start picking up a rein gently and then releasing as soon as she turns towards the pressure, because that's what she's going to be expected to do basically for the rest of her life. So I'm just holding, I'm not pulling, but I am letting it release when she turns towards me. And then I'm going to do up that chin strap, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Good girl. And then I'm going to ask her, oh no, we're going to do the same way one more time. And then we're going to do the other side. So now I'm just double checking everything, making sure it's exactly where I want it to be. I am finding that that crown piece is a little tighter to her ears than I want, so I may still go out and buy her a bigger brow band. And we're just going to keep playing with the reins here. Good girl. Lots of praise. Lots of letting her move around, letting her feel what's going on, and really just instilling that the way to get the pressure released on the bit is by turning towards it. There. I do this for a couple of more minutes, and then I take her up to the arena and just lead her around with it for a bit. Take her up to the arena, and there's a bunch of poles left out, so I do use the reins and just lead her around, have her follow me while I clean up those poles. I don't think that I got that on film, but we'll see in a second. And then here I decided to bring those cheek pieces up one more hole, because the instructions that I've seen say that the center of that noseband should be 2 to 3 inches higher than the mouth. So I'm just trying to make sure I get that right fit for her. I also had to go out and buy a bigger bit for her, because everything I have for Hope is 5 inches, which is pretty standard, and she needed a 5.5. So baby's getting everything brand new this year instead of hand-me-downs. And there I'm just having her reach towards a treat so that she's reaching towards that bit. All of this is going to be good practice for her future. So now we're set up in the arena. Like I said, the first thing I did was just lead her around with me as I cleaned up some jump poles that were in our way. And now I'm gonna practice tossing the reins over her head a couple of times. We've practiced that with the lead rope quite a bit, so it doesn't bother her. And now I'm gonna get her to start yielding to the bit while my hands are in a more normal position for riding. And you'll see in a second here, I start asking her to turn away from the direction that I'm standing on, oh, turn away from the side that I'm standing on. And then we're going to go get the mounting block. This is something we've been doing every time we go up to the arena, is just practicing standing nicely at the block. There, she missed her target a little bit, so we're going to swing back around. And she is distracted. She's still fussing with the bit, and she can hear horses down in the paddock. But, you know, I don't want to start getting on her until she's really, really solid standing at the block. So I do things like kick it, let it make a lot of noise, pretend to trip over it, I throw it around, I jump up and down quite a bit, and I'm really just looking for her to stand stock still and ignore everything I do. So I kick her in the bum a little bit, bump her in the side with my knee, because these are all mistakes that people do make when we're mounting up, and I really want her to just be okay with whatever happens. So here she stepped away a little bit, I lined her back up, I toss it around a bit, get back on the block, pat her on her offside, some more jumping up and down. So that was the wrong answer. I don't want her to move away when I bump her with my knee. So I'm going to get down and move her back into position. And I do that instead of moving the block to her because that was her mistake. Now we're going to do it from the other side. And this side we haven't practiced with as much, but it is really important to me that my horses are good with getting on both sides, no matter what. So this is something that I do practice with them. And here I'm just asking her to understand that I'm asking her to go forward. It's not something that's normal for her because when I pick up those reins, it's not putting pressure on her pole first, which is where it comes from with a halter. So that's brand new for her, and she didn't freak out or get upset. So I'm pretty happy with that reaction. And you can see here, we've done this a couple of times, and she is pretty well ready for me to get on at this point. And that will happen pretty soon, I think, but I didn't have any help with me today, and as you can see, I don't have a helmet on, so I'm definitely not going to be doing that. And here, I'm just checking a couple of messages while I'm testing her patience. So nice to kill two birds with one stone that way. I'm patting her on the offside that you can't see there, just again getting her used to the idea that I can be standing on one side and that she can feel something on the other. And now while I'm standing on the block, I'm going to repeat that exercise where I am asking her to turn her head without moving her feet. And we call this neutral lateral flexion. I'm asking her to turn her head and leave her feet exactly where they are. So she's staying in neutral while she's flexing laterally. That's where that name comes from. And I'm asking her to do both sides while I'm standing on one side of her. And she did a great job today. I was really, really proud of her and how she's been. And then trying to get a decent selfie. She was a little bit fussier than normal today, and I don't blame her. Again, I put a bridle bit on her for the first time, so she is fussing a little bit more than normal. All in all, she is a really chill, easy horse, and I'm really, really proud of her. If you guys didn't know, if you haven't watched some of my older videos, I did breed this filly. So I've had her right from day one, and we have a pretty good relationship. So I'm really proud of where we're at so far.
Hey guys, it is Saturday night and I am finally back on track. I have figured out my editing issues. I've already uploaded one video today, and the second one is exporting right now, so I'm so excited that I figured that out. I still have a lot to learn about this editing program. The transitions are crap. I haven't quite gotten the audio where I want it to be, but I'm so excited that I got stuff uploaded. So I haven't shown you Advent the last couple of nights because I was so frustrated with the computer. So I'm gonna do that right now. Yay! I'm so excited. It is the 5th. That's right. It's the 5th. I've only checked that 4, 6, 12 times today. Alright. This is a cabbage or lettuce of some sort. And on the picture, there's a bunny, so I'm assuming that this is going to be for the bunny. Did I ever get it unwrapped? It's just a cute little lettucey thing. And I did clear off a shelf. I will show you over here in a minute. I will do a review at the end of the month, but so far, guys, Playmobil is kicking the other advent calendar's butt, and I'll show you why in just a second. This looks like it's supposed to be grass or a flake of hay or something, and a little pitchfork to pick it up with. So that's kind of cool. And let me show you what's going on here. So Playmobil came with that background, like I told you. So far, we have had day 1. This little girl and all of her accessories. Day 2, pony foal, which is adorable, and I have actually kept it on my desk beside my computer because I love it so much. Day 3 was this gate and all of the pieces. I actually had to put it together. And this unlatches, and it swings, and it stands up on that little patch of dirt. Which is awesome. Day 4, got this adorable little mole and a mound of dirt that he lives in, and some flowers. And then today, the 5th, I've got this hay and pitchfork. So that's awesome. This one's cute too. It's just by comparison, it's not nearly as good. So day 1, we got the vet. Day 2, got this little vet box, which does open up. It's hard to do one-handed. Day 3 was the stethoscope. I'm not even kidding, guys. That was it. Like, I was so disappointed because I got that compared to this whole gate assembly on the same day. I actually went and like told my husband Kevin to compare these two and how ridiculous it was. And then day 4, just because just the stethoscope on its own wasn't silly enough, day 4 was this little brown bottle, which I'm assuming belongs in the kit. And then day 5 is the lettuce. Don't get me wrong, these toys are really nice and they're not cheap, and I have bought some of their horses and farm animals for kids in my family and stuff before, but I really love Playmobil, and you know, this is part of why. That's all I've got for you for tonight, guys. So I will check in again tomorrow. It will be Sunday, and we'll see you then. Have a good night. Good morning, well, afternoon, happy Saturday. How are you? I had a pretty lazy morning. I slept in a little bit, I had a coffee and watched some YouTube, and now I'm on my way out to the farm to see my girls which is all I have to do today besides work, editing videos, working on my website. I'm really excited because Violet's new bridle came in the mail this week. I bought her a Micklem, decided to splurge a little bit because both of Hope's bridles are cob-sized, so Violet hasn't really started wearing a bridle yet because mine don't fit her, and I thought I really want her first couple of experiences to be good ones, and I wanted an excuse to buy Micklem. I've been dying to try them since they came out, and I've read a lot of the research, and it looks really good, so that's where we're at. I gotta get gas on the way to the farm, and I will see you there.